and this is called Mommy of the Year. Like mommy,
Mommy.
you know. Hi guys, welcome and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Elaina. Привет! I'm your Russian-American makeup and beauty addict. I usually buy and review and do tutorials of affordable, inexpensive makeup from Walmart, drugstore, AliExpress, you name it. I'll test it in my face, I'll pass the savings to you guys. So this is one of my favorite budget videos from Walmart. I went to Walmart and I found this. So this is the new Wet n Wild Fantasy Makers. I picked up two, the brightest ones I saw. And we're going to be doing two looks in 2 days. For you, it's going to be one video. For me, it's probably going to be a few days. So this is the Boogie Nights and this is Mommy of the Year. So if you guys are interested, then keep on watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet. And ring notification below so YouTube notifies you every time the new video comes out. I upload 3 times a week on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 9 AM Pacific time, and also go live on Sundays at noon Pacific time or 8 PM in UK. So like, comment, and follow me Instagram, Twitter. The links are down below. So let's get right into this. So I picked this up in Walmart. Like I said, my last grocery trip, went in to see if they got this. So this is like a Halloween edition. The Boogie Nights look like this. And that's your basic rainbow palette. But that's supposed to be all Halloween. I guess like for like a different Halloween looks, whatever you can come up with, all bright. And this is all green, and this is called Mommy of the Year. Like mommy,
Mommy.
you know, not like mom. Oh, you know what I mean. With my Russian pronunciation, never know what I'm gonna say. So that's MUMMY of the year. Yeah. So this is the one probably Teresa's can't wait to see, but that's gonna be second day. So let me swatch them real quick. So they're $4.98 each, really cheap, and then 10 shades. Like there's a lot of shimmers in this one. I think there are fewer in this one. This one's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this one's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this one's like a lot. But some of the shimmers here, like a satiny kind of satin look, and I think because I mean it's a cheap brand, so they probably have trouble formulating some colors. I would imagine. That's no shade, no tea, but shimmers are easy to formulate, especially cool tones. So the dark blue is like slightly satin, and there is a reason for it because it's easy to blend. And if it was completely matte, it would be hard to formulate. I wonder if Wet n Wild, if they ever have a matte blue. I would love to see that. No shade, but like show me the matte blue Wet n Wild. All right. So let me do the swatches on my arm real quick and I'll be back. Okay, I'm back with the swatches. So this is the bright one. And the bright one swatched easily. Like it was easy to pick up by finger. And the swatches came out easy. It's a couple of passes each, so I'm not gonna lie. But they did swatch nicely, no problems. Now the green one, for some reason, some of the shades, like this one, it won't pick up on the finger. Maybe it's gonna be different in the brush. And like the white one too, I had to like dig in with a finger, but that's, of course, it's not indication of anything. So that's the green one. So some of them kind of hard to even see. This one's almost invisible. This one shimmer is beautiful, and the white one picked up after a while, but I mean the brown is almost like black, which is a good thing. I like the dark color, so I'm excited to use this tomorrow or like the day after. So that's 2 of them. So let's get into the tutorial next, and before we go, let's do the Russian word of the day. So the Russian word of the day is красота. So we often talk about beauty, it's a beauty channel, beauty makeup. So the word is beauty. Beauty is красота. And beautiful is красотка. So if you want to compliment somebody and tell them you're beautiful, you would say, oh, you're such a beauty. You would say красотка, which is a female ending. I mean, that's different kind of word for a man anyway. But if you want to talk about noun, that's beauty, that's krasota. So I'm gonna put the Russian spelling here and pronunciation, krasota, and below that, krasotka, which is a female version of the beauty. So there you have it, krasota, krasotka. Enjoy it. From the last fantasy makeup palettes with glitter in them, they're so horrible. You would think I would learn and never buy them again. But no. I go to Walmart and I see this. And I'm like, yes, this cheap palette is going right into the basket. So, I mean, for like $4.98, we could try this. So I'm gonna do basic rainbow look since I want to use pretty much all of the shades. So I'm gonna start with purple and go with the medium size brush. This is a perfusion brush. Cheap palette, cheap brushes. So I'm gonna go right out in the outer corner, and I'm using the New Revolution base. Just building as usual and start to blend out immediately, just a little bit out, so we can add the pink. Alright, taking about the same size brush. This is a Mono Brush BMX 466 shade. I'm going with pink. I already did the other eye and I forgot which brush I used first. They're pretty much same. Yeah, the pink is beautiful. I mean, there's nothing about this shades that would say is a big problem. They're all pigmented so far. Going back to purple. And going right into the red on the old Ipsy bag brush. This is a Glamour Doll 10. And I'm going right into the red now. So pretty much red, orange. And this is, oh yeah, this one I didn't use and this one I didn't use. But I did use this kind of a lime yellow green. So red, orange, and yellow. Your basic rainbow colors. They're very good red actually, look at that. It's like perfect red. There is no pink in it, there is no orange in it, it's just like pure red. And I'm using even a cheaper brush from AliExpress, and more. And this is More Contour Brush 9. But that's a nice shadow brush to me, not a contour. So I'm going right for the orange tone. They're really bright and pigmented, look at that. And going straight for the yellow on an even older brush. This is Elf brush. It doesn't even have a name anymore. The name probably is gone from handle. It's so old. I'm going to this lime green. I thought it was yellow, but it's kind of more of a lime green yellow. Alright, so I'm gonna add brow bone highlight. There is no brow bone highlight in this palette. This is like too silvery purplish. So yeah, that would be really dark. That would not work. So I'm gonna go to my tried and true Ofra highlighter in Star Island. And of course back to pink to blend it out. Alright, take an Elf angle brush. Again, it's all old. There is no numbers and names on that left. I like to use something like this for the liner or the low lash line. So I'm gonna go with this transition shade, the blue, and then into the kind of teal blue. The problem with the blue, it's not matte. It's like slightly shimmery. So that's the... almost lost it. I put my whole palm of my hand into the eyeshadow. Just lovely. I'm glad I got a towel here. Alright, so going to the blue. Very pigmented again, real nice. Yeah, it's like a slightly satin. And I think the reason it's satin, it's the same kind of thing as a Bretman Rock Wet Wild palette. The blue there is slightly satin. Because blues are hard to formulate, it's a very known fact. And I guess Wet n Wild is being lazy. And just going for the easy solution. When in doubt, add shimmer to it. I'm being shady, but it's true. And going to that teal color, which is True Matte. Just gonna blend it out a little bit. And add a little dark blue in the outer corner. So I use Colourpop pencil in the waterline, and this is Color Friends. And then I put a little bit more base. I cleaned up the lid first, and I cut the crease. And I decided between these two colors, I just wanted to go for this gold. The gold is so pretty. And this is a really great shimmer, as you can see. I mean, I already did that eye, so no problems with that. The texture is really nice. They go smoothly, it's very foiled, very reflective. And again, it's hard to F up the shimmer like this. Usually I never have any issues with gold, like no matter what brand it is. Gold is really hard to mess up. I'm using flat brush, by the way, flat Morphe brush, there is no name to it. So as you can see, I kind of went a little extra as usual. I haven't done gems in a while, so I'm like, it's time to add some gems. So now I'm gonna blend this out a little bit. So I'll use the flat brush. Any flat brush will do. I just grabbed this shader brush Profusion. It's kind of fluffy but flat at the same time. It's a fat brush. So I'm gonna go with purple first. And then I'm gonna go with pink right over it. So pink is gonna blend into our gold better. So that's more pleasing transition. And back to purple. So I'm using this Midas Cosmetics palette, and I kind of want to add a little pastels into this kind of lime green, yellow and purple, like ombre style, just to add a little something interesting here. So I use a little water on the brush that comes with them, the eyeshadows. This is water activated color. So going into the lime green first. And now the time has come for me to hold my breath. Clean up the same brush and go straight for the purple. So now I'm going to add all these little tiny gems. I have this palette and I have white pencil. And I'm not going to do it on camera because it's going to be painstakingly long. I mean, it's not that long with a wax pencil, but it takes a bit, so I'll put a couple of dots here. I usually like to go by 3. 1, 2, and 3. I kind of try to match the other side, more or less, so they, you know, kind of match. I take the wax pencil and dip into the one of the gems. So here's the look we got so far. The eye look, yeah, the eyeshadows perform nicely. No complaints at all. So I'm gonna finish my base and I'll be right back to give you my final thoughts about this palette before we move on to the next one. So I finished the eye look, the full face, and I used the new Revolution foundation, the Conceal and Glow. And that's gonna be a separate video. I'm not sure if it's gonna be before this or after, so hopefully before. And I also used Concealer XX Revolution and some Revolution bronzer and blushes. Everything's pretty much Revolution except for the highlight. I used Wet n Wild. This one, the blush lighter, and this is the color I Met Someone. All inexpensive products. A Revolution mascara, a Revolution eyeliner, pretty much a lot of Revolution stuff, and Wet n Wild, and a Maybelline lipstick matting. So that's a finished look. Let me zoom in. If you wonder what eyelashes these are, I'm wearing the same pair from Shop Alter Ego, the Alter Ego eyelashes. The palette was a poo-poo, but the eyelashes amazing. So that's the look. I'm impressed because the palette looks so cheap. It looks like it's gonna be a piece of crap, excuse me, but it does. But it's incredibly pigmented and blends easy. I mean, that's what you would expect from like a $50 palette. Seriously. So this is the final look. I zoomed you out. So this is day 1. It's gonna be 2 palettes because that's what I picked up. So this is the Boogie Nights, and this is officially Elaina Glam approved, if that means anything to anyone. I'm real surprised that it's such a cheap packaging. I mean, plastic, 10 real simple shades. It looks like a dollar store makeup. I mean, no shade to Wet n Wild, but it looks like it's gonna be crap. and it's amazing, amazing, incredibly pigmented, blends easy. I can't really say anything bad about it, except like it could use a lighter highlight shade. I would rather prefer this to be like a light inner corner highlight, and if this was matte, it would be perfect. But then again, that's just picking. That's amazing. For $4.98, you can't really complain. The look I created, I've created some like this before, and I think the 24A, my first go at Artist Pass, was very similar. So yeah, let's get into the day 2, the green palette, and that's going to be especially for Teresa, for you, my friend, because you're probably waiting, where's the green? Show me the green. So the green is coming in about a few seconds, and for me, it's probably going to be a few days. So let's get into the second look. So I prime with Revolution New Primer in a color light, slightly blended with a little sponge, and I'm going in. The palette is small, it's easy to hold up, that's an advantage. So I'm gonna do full cut crease. I kind of felt that both looks I wanted to make them extra because this is so cheap, so I wanted to make it look at least more fun and interesting. Go in with a green and on a small Morphe brush. It's like a pencil brush. So I'm just going to sketch my cut crease, and there is not much fallout, so I didn't have to clean the area under the cut crease. So I'm gonna go right above where my crease is. So this way there's virtually no cleanup actually. To be honest, I didn't even use micellar water on this side. It was so easy. Just sketching the shape. Well, I'm not doing a tutorial. Technically, this is just a review. But since we're doing this, I might as well explain what I'm doing. So as soon as I put this shade on, I pack it, right? So we're packing it. But now I'm going to kind of slightly feather it out immediately. Because if I don't, then it's going to be hard to blend. They're going to be harsh lines. So I lately found, most of the time, I like to blend out just a little bit. Because if I leave those edges, after I place the second color, it's gonna be very hard to blend in between. So if I start blending out immediately, it's so much easier. And now I'm using slightly bigger Morphe brush, again it's an unnamed brush from a synthetic brush set. This is another kind of sort of like pencil-ish brush. So now I'm gonna tap in between yellow and green, and more yellow than green, and place it 50% on, 50% off. So now it's going to blend into the darker tone easier because of what I was doing before. Now I'm gonna start adding more yellow. And Teresa is probably gonna be living for this look. Although there's no chartreuse green, but it's kind of like I'm creating a chartreusey green, blending yellow and dark green. Okay, moving on to the highlight shade. That's a really pretty white, sparkly shade. It has a lot of glitter flecks in it. So I'm gonna take a smallest brush, the Lavish brush from BoxyCharm, another small pencil brush, just slightly highlight it. So as you can see in this method that I used, I created virtually no fallout because I used small brush, and I've kind of painted the cut crease, so I haven't even cut the crease yet and it's already clean. So I'm just going to cut the crease, just clean up the line. There is no micellar water needed because I'm gonna go with light green under anyway, like this side, and I'll be right back. I'll finish this. So I'm taking another Morphe flat brush, the one I usually use for shimmers. I'm going to mix this together. I wanted to create chartreusey green. So this is the yellow gold, and this is like a light cooler tone green. So I'm going to dip into them both and just apply them pretty much everywhere, all over the lid. Yeah, they both have very pretty shimmer, very similar texture. So now I'm going to take a little more base, the same Revolution base, and I'm going to apply it where the line is going to be kind of a smoked liner. so it has something to go attached to. So I'm going with a small liner brush first. This is a Moda brush, and the number is Moda Pro BMX 498 line. I'm going right to this deep brown, and this brown is almost black actually. It's so deep, I like it. Now I'm deep into the shimmer green. This one, if you remember, it did not swatch well. It was almost transparent. So you see there are kind of dips here. I had to dig the brush in there. So this is a fluffy angled brush. It's an old elf brush I have. I think it still says a Divine Night brush. Yeah, pretty much. So I'm just gonna dig into this shimmer shade. It comes out onto the brush if you really work hard, but it's kind of a hard pressed. So, I mean, you can't complain for $4.98. So, I'm gonna go 50-50, 50% off, 50% on. Yeah, it shows up, but kind of takes a little effort to show up. I think the other palette is much better. And I'm going to lightest green shimmer and kind of blend out the dark and the light. So I did my waterline already with 2 pencils. Yes, I'm back to the old habit, but I like what these two create together. It creates a perfect green. This is LA Color Shockwave pencils. One is fresh and one is screaming. So like a cool tone green and the warm tone yellow create this warmer green. So that's what I like to do with the waterline. I'm going to apply another shimmer I have not used yet. I kind of feel like trying different colors, so this is like a real pretty dark green shimmer. So I used the Revolution Renaissance Flick eyeliner, and I used mascara Bad Curl Bang by Benefit, and I used Alter Ego eyelashes, the same pair. I've been wearing them forever and I can't let them go. They're real pretty. Alright, so now we're doing the fun part. So I'm taking a small tiny brush. This is one of the liner brushes that you do glitter line with. And I'm going into the barium topper. And this is in the shade Supernova. It's got dark green. So that's like a perfect shade to go with this. So I'm kind of applying it liberally, because I wanted it to be a real standout color and to really show. Okay, so now using dark green jewels from Nail Art. That's the same set I had from Amazon for a long time. I'll just use basic glue, lash glue, and wax pencil. I used to use tweezers on my fingers. Now I use wax pencil, so I'm trying to see where it started. Somewhere beyond my iris line, like here. So I applied 6 of them, so we're gonna try to go in the same pattern. Hopefully they will match. You see how easy this picks it up? This wax pencil is genius. See? So much better. Missa, if you ever tried wax pencil, you'll never go back to tweezers, I'm telling you. Or maybe you do, I don't know. Maybe you have tried it. But for me, this is so much easier. Like one of our sausage friends told us about it. I don't remember who first told me about the wax pencil. Ever since I tried the wax pencil, I'm like, that's it. No more going into tweezers. Alright, so here's the eye look. And one of these eyes is not like the other as usual. They never come out completely the same, but anyway. So I'm going to finish my face, the base makeup, and I'll be back. So for now, I think the eyeshadow applied actually very decently. Judging by the swatches, when it swatched, it didn't swatch that well, and I kind of had very low expectations, but again, for $5, that's a very good, decent eyeshadow on my palette. Okay, I finished my base makeup, and I quite like the finish result. I think the palette performs real well. Let me zoom in more if you want to see. Yeah, the eyes are not very even. What do you know? It never is the same, but I like the jewels. I've been into jewels lately. It's kind of like me, Teresa, Missa, and now Chrissy too. I get into the jewels, and once I see Chrissy do jewels, like Chrissy, you did jewels, now I want jewels. Anyway, regardless, yeah, it came out nice. I'm surprised how well it performs. Okay, here's a full look. And if you guys are interested, I applied foundation. That's the Dewy Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation in the color Classic Beige that says medium 10. And it's like my perfect skin match. Maybe I could go a little darker, but I'm always delusional. I always think I'm darker than I am, so there is that. And I also use the Photo Focus concealer that I don't use that often because I would say it's like a medium coverage and I like big, more full coverage. And this is the color Light Ivory, but it doesn't come out like a very, very light because it's not very opaque. But I mean, it performs. Under my eyes, I used Maybelline Fit Me Classic Ivory color powder, that's pressed powder, and I set my face with a loose powder in a fair light, and I also use Revolution Cool Tone Bronzer. I actually use it as a contour because it's so cool that it's actually good as a contour. Lately I've been into warmer tone contours because I kind of feel like it always gives you great cast otherwise. And I use CYO bronzer as well in a color medium. And for the blush, I use this set as usual. I've been using this lately. That's a Met Some Fun Hello Halo. That's a blush lighter. That's Wet n Wild. I was trying to use like Wet n Wild as much as I can. Also the lips, I use the combination of Hyundai. This is a matte lipstick. It's the color Cool Brown. It's really pretty, but it was a little too dark, so the color is 07. And the Wet n Wild liquid lipstick in the color I Caught You Bare Naked. That's a liquid catsuit. It's kind of a high shine lipstick, not the matte. And I like to add that on top to lighten up any matte look and gives it a little gloss, so a lot of gloss. So that's the products I used. So to get back into palettes, so what do I think about these palettes? So the green one actually performed really decently. The way it's swatched, it kind of didn't really impress me, but on the eyes, it performed very well. I would say it's not the most shiniest metallic colors, it's more of like a shimmer, but I mean, they work. It's not too expensive makeup, I mean, don't get me wrong. This one is a little better, I think. Like, all the colors perform a little better in this one. Or maybe I just like rainbow themed palettes, it's just my thing. But yeah, the green is, say, with average. I would say if you wanted to buy a cheap palette from Wet n Wild, I would go for this one rather than this one. But Teresa would probably go for this one anyway. But I mean, for $4.98, you can just check it out. But I'm just gonna tell you right off the bat, I mean, it's cheap makeup. It is cheap makeup, but it performs really nicely for the price, but it's nothing like to go, oh, I need to get it, So I would rather honestly pick a Revolution palette that's a smaller Revolution palette or something, and maybe pay extra $5 and get a Revolution palette instead, or extra 10, whatever. Because Revolution quality is so much higher, and it's still a drugstore brand, but I think, I mean, beats Wet n Wild anytime. But if you're interested, go for it. I would rather pick this one. So that's it. That's the end of my video. If you guys enjoyed this, then give it a thumbs up. It really helps me. And please consider subscribing. You don't want to miss this content, so you want to click notification bell. I upload 3 times a week on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 9 AM Pacific time. And I also go live on Sundays at noon Pacific time, which is 8 PM in UK, where we have fun. The girls make fun of me. They give me all kind of challenges and I paint my face, and we have a blast and a chat and everything. So that's kind of a fun way to hang out and watch me do some pretty extreme looks sometimes. So comment below, let me know if you got this palette, if you like them, if you want to get any of these. I mean, It's not like a big, huge purchase anyway. And thank you again for all the patrons that joined my Patreon group. Planning to open a WhatsApp group when I get more people than just like 4 or 5. Because otherwise it's going to be a little bit funny. But if you want to, I can start a WhatsApp chat for us and we can make up some kind of decisions of what you guys want me to do for the live sessions that I'm gonna have for just for patrons. So that's coming in a very near future. So I'll leave you guys at this and thank you for watching and I'll see you in my next video. Love you. Bye.